Terror by Night. The Columbia Players presents a play of the supernatural, Walter Butterfield's dramatization of Oscar Wilde's famous story, The Canterville Ghost.
Ghosts?
Precisely. A ghost.
My lord, you actually expect me to believe that Canterville Chase is haunted, or that there exists such a thing as a ghost?
My dear Mr. Otis, I feel it is my bounden duty as the present owner of Canterville Chase to acquaint you and your family as the prospective owners with the facts. Your beliefs in them rest quite naturally with yourselves.
In America, my lord, we have everything that money can buy. We have many of your best actors, your prima donnas, your plays, your novels, your works of art. Believe me, if there were such a thing as a ghost in Europe or England, we'd have it at home in one of our public museums, or on the road in a theatrical production.
Possibly, Mr. Otis, possibly. I fear, however, the ghost exists. Though it may have resisted the overtures of your enterprising American impresarios, it has been well known for over 3 centuries and always makes its appearance.
At Canterville Chase?
At Canterville Chase, immediately before the death of any member of our family.
Well, so does the family doctor, for that matter, Lord Canterville.
We've not cared to live in the place ourselves.
But there is no such thing, sir, as a ghost.
My great aunt, the Dowager Duchess of Bolton, was frightened into a fit
By this ghost?
by 2 skeleton hands being placed on her shoulders as she was dressing for dinner.
Imagination, Lord Canterville. Pure, maybe impure, imagination.
In conclusion, Mr. Otis, I feel bonded to tell you that the ghost has been seen by several members of the family, and none of our younger siblings would stay with us, and Lady Canterville slept very little at night in consequence of mysterious and persistent noises that came from the corridor and the library.
My lord, I appreciate your frankness. I'll take the furniture and the ghost at a valuation. We won't mind having a ghost in the house. It's perfectly all right.
Quite so. Only I beg you remember, I warned you.
I bid you welcome to Canterville Chase. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, what a lovely house.
Say, I'm gonna like this.
Thank you for permitting me to stay on.
Hey, Roger, ask her where the ghost is.
Aw, she wouldn't know.
We should be lost in this great house without your care.
Tea.
Any cakes, Pa? Come on, Roger. Now don't you children touch anything.
I laid tea in the library, madame.
So my children have discovered. What a beautiful room. Don't you love this black paneling, Hiram?
Huh? Oh, yes, very pretty. Better pour the tea, Elizabeth. I'll take your wrap, madame.
Gee, these muffins are good.
They're not muffins, Roger. They're scones, aren't they, Mother?
What, dear?
I don't care whether they're scones or muffins. They taste swell.
I'd rather have cinnamon toast.
Tea, Washington?
No thanks, Mother. Gee, I don't think we've seen such a beautiful sunset since we've been in England.
Well, we deserve a clear day for a change.
I never dreamed there could be so much rain in 1 month, but today it's perfect.
Oh dear, I pushed something off the tray. A spoon, I think.
I'll get it, madame.
Thank you, Mrs. Umney. Right over there in front of the fireplace. I must have... Why, Mrs. Umney! That spot! Children, did you spill anything?
Where, Mother?
There, in front of the fireplace. I'm sure something has been spilled.
Yes, madame. Blood.
Blood?
What's this? Blood has been spilt on that spot.
Oh no! Get out of my way, Roger. Let me see the blood.
Are you serious, Mrs. Umney?
Quite, madame. Here, let me see.
How horrid! I don't care at all for blood stains on the carpet.
Don't worry, Elizabeth. We'll get rid of it in no time. It's the blood of Lady Eleanor de Canterville.
I don't care whose blood it is, Mrs. Umney. It must be removed.
She was murdered on that spot in 1575.
Murdered?
Yes, miss, murdered. By her own husband, Sir Simon de Canterville.
Say, Dad, some family these Cantervilles.
Sir Simon survived for 9 years and then mysteriously and suddenly disappeared. His body has never been discovered. It's his spirit, his guilty spirit, that still haunts the chase. What nonsense! Get the Pinkerton out from my suitcase, Washington.
Gee, that's a swell blood spot, ain't it, Whirlwind?
Have it removed at once, Mrs. Umney.
It cannot be removed, madame. Bah! Pinkerton's champion stain remover will clean it up in no time. There, you see? It's disappearing already. But, sir, Mr. Otis, I beg you. See? Now it's all gone. I knew Pinkerton would do it. You shouldn't have done it, sir. You shouldn't...
Hiram, quickly. Mrs. Umney has fainted. Virginia, give me some water.
What good is a housekeeper who faints?
Hush, Hiram.
Here, Mother.
Now, what do you suppose made her faint?
Maybe it was that blood stain.
She ought to be used to it, since 1575.
There. She'll be all right now. Are you better, Mrs. Umney?
Oh, madame, there's trouble coming now, and this your first day in the house. What do you mean, trouble? I've seen things with my own eyes, sir, that would make any Christian's hair stand on end. There are awful things done here.
If you're talking about ghosts, we're not afraid of ghosts, are we, children?
Of course not.
I'd like to see a ghost, though.
So would I. A big one.
Many and many a night I've not closed my eyes for even a wink of sleep. Tonight is sure to be another. I'll take my supper in my room if you don't mind. That storm didn't come up sudden like for nothing. Good night to you, madame, and you, sir, and the Lord protect us all. What's that striking on now, Elizabeth?
It must be 12. We came up about 11. Go to sleep, Hiram.
I've been asleep. Just before the clock started to strike, I thought I heard something out in the hallway. A sort of clanking sound.
Now, Hiram, if you're trying to frighten me...
Of course I'm not trying to frighten you, but I tell you I heard something. Be quiet. There. Do you hear that?
Yes, I did, Hiram. It sounded like a chain being dragged.
Like a rusty chain.
Get up. Strike a match. It's coming nearer. It's right outside the door now. See what it is, Hiram?
That's exactly what I'm... What the devil are you gasping about, Elizabeth?
Didn't you see it, Hiram?
Of course I saw it.
Horrible, terrible-looking old man. His eyes were red as burning coals, and his long gray hair was... something was hanging from his wrists and ankles.
Chains. They're what we heard before.
Why don't you do something, Hiram?
I am. Be quiet. My dear sir, I really insist on you oiling those chains. Here's a small bottle of Tammany lubricator. I will leave it here on this hall table. If you want any more, Just shout, "Good night."
Hiram, what did you do?
The only thing I could think of to stop that blooming clanking. Maybe now we can go to sleep.
What was that?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Something broke.
Mr. Roland? Now he's gone.
Here, what's going on out here?
We saw him, Daddy. We saw him. A dirty old man.
It must have been the Canterville ghost.
Well, I miss him too, Wash. Almost hit him with our pillow. What's all this glass?
It's the bottle of Tammany lubricating oil I put out on the hall table for that whatever it was.
It was the ghost, Daddy, of the old man who murdered his wife down in the library?
Nonsense. You can't tell me. What the?
Virginia! Where's Virginia?
Here she comes. What's the matter, Virgie?
Mother, Daddy, I was just down in the library. I couldn't sleep and went down for my writing case, which I'd left in front of the fire, and...
Did you see him, Virgie?
Him? Who? The Canterville ghost. The old man. He was up here in the hall.
He broke a bottle into pieces and disappeared just as you threw a pillow at him. Daddy saw him.
Virginia, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right, but Mother, Daddy, that blood stain on the carpet in front of the fire.
Yes, dear. Forget about it. Your father wiped it out.
That's it, Mother. It's back again. Redder and bloodier than it was before.
Well, if you ask me, we've been here a whole week and haven't made much progress.
What can you do in weather like this? We're lucky to have such large fireplaces.
I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the ghost.
Oh, now Washington. Can't we go to bed one night without talking about that horrible apparition?
Well, the more we talk about it, Elizabeth, the less it should frighten you. You don't see me or the twins shuddering and screaming. Virginia's not afraid.
No, I feel sort of sorry for him. Poor old ghost.
Well, I can't help feeling that it would be much safer if you, Hiram, and Washington, and even the twins took it more seriously. We don't want to have to move.
Seriously? I don't mind the fellow if he'll just keep quiet and let us sleep. After more than 300 years, he certainly has a claim on the place. But I'll tell you one thing. If he doesn't use that Tammany lubricator and quit smashing my bottles to pieces, I'm going to take his chains away from him.
He who laughs last.
Ghosts do not laugh, Elizabeth. Mind you, I do think that pillow throwing and pea shooting...
Now, for heaven's sake, Hiram, don't starve the twins again. They're fast asleep long ago.
Probably getting rested up for midnight. Little devils. Might I come in, madame?
Of course, Mrs. Umney, come in.
Madame and sir, I'm not upset about everything this past week.
Of course, we all are, Mrs. Umney. But it's not your fault. This beastly weather, getting settled.
Not that, madame. It's what goes on at night. Nonsense. We'll have all these hijinks cleared up in no time, Mrs. Umney. Besides, Mrs. Otis gave you full permission to remain in your room, safe and sound. Safe? Was old Madame Tremolock safe when she woke up early one morning and saw a skeleton seated in her favourite armchair, reading her diary? Was Lady Sutfield safe when 5 unseen fingers clutched around her throat so tightly she almost strangled, and had to wear a black velvet band around her throat until the day she died? I could go on like that.
Please don't, Mrs. Umney. I admit that while I do not, of course, believe in such a thing as this Canterville ghost, there is something about the house that
interferes with our sleep, and that we're going to quelch if it costs you the life of one of your family.
Mrs. Umney, please.
Bah, if you persist in your silly fears. Then, please, may I give my notice, sir? We'll talk about that tomorrow or the next day. Tomorrow may be too late, Doesn't the persistence of the blood spot on the library carpet tell you anything, sir? Yes, that's a humdinger, I must admit. If I myself hadn't locked up the library tight every night, after removing the stains. And 6 nights it's been, sir, and each morning the blood is back again as though you never touched it. Yes, but what kind of blood is it? Washington, you've got your list.
Yes, here it is. The first morning it came back blood red, and returned even bloodier the next 3 mornings. Fourth morning it was a dull, almost Indian red. The fifth was vermilion, and this morning it was some sort of rich purple.
It's sort of like a chameleon, isn't it?
I don't think we ought to joke about it, Mother.
I know you shouldn't, miss. I'm considering writing an article about the subject of the permanence of sangria stains when connected with crime.
I think I'll go up to bed now, Mother.
I think we'd all better. It's long after 11. Are you going to lock the library again, Hiram?
I certainly am. Come on, Washington, we might have a new color for your chart tomorrow morning.
Good night, Mrs. Umney.
Good night, madame, and I pray it is a good night. Good night, miss.
Sleep tightly, Mrs. Umney.
Did you screen the fire, Washington?
Okay, Dad, lock her up.
Are you coming, Hiram?
Coming, Elizabeth? It's almost time to wake the twins. Have you got everything ready?
Yes, in my closet. I'll wait till just before midnight. Good night, Dad.
See you later. Good night, son.
What time is that, Raj?
4:30. I'm getting sleepy waiting. Wonder what's the matter with the old ghost.
Maybe he's died.
He did die in 1575, or he wouldn't be a ghost. Shh, I hear something.
That's only the dog down in the barn.
He must be outside the door now.
What happened?
I think we got him. He tripped on a swing. See? It's broken.
And the pail of water fell right on him when our door opened.
Did you hear him shriek when he saw our scarecrow?
Look, he knocked it over. The broom handle's gone right through the pumpkin shell.
Something tells me that's the last we'll hear of ye old Canterville ghost. Where's Virginia?
Your mother fainted. She's probably with her. How's Mother, Virginia?
Virginia's not here, Hiram. Is everything all right?
All right. Virginia?
Virgie! Virgie!
Roger, Roland, help us find your sister. Look in all the rooms.
I'll look downstairs. Virgie! Where are you? Virginia?
Hiram, what's the matter? Where's Virginia?
Be quiet, Mother. She's around someplace.
She's not in the bed, Daddy. The bed's all messed up.
Is that you, Virginia? No, sir. It's me, Mrs. Umney. Has anything happened?
Happened? Mrs. Umney, help us find her. Virginia, my little girl. Wake up the servants.
Now, Elizabeth, be quiet. We'll find her. She's probably fallen asleep in one of the big chairs downstairs by a fire. Is she there, Washington?
No, Dad. The library's locked up, and she's not in any of the other rooms.
This all comes of your crazy fooling in the halls with that.
With the Canterville ghost, madame. I heard him stalking through the house. Washington, catch this key and open the library doors. She might have gotten in there somehow and fallen asleep.
All right, Dad.
Since midnight he's been prowling around.
We didn't see him, Mrs. Umney.
We've been waiting for him since the clock's up 12.
He didn't come out until just a few minutes ago.
There, madame. Maybe she's safe after all. Is she there, Washington?
No, Dad. Everything's just as we left it in the library, except
Except what?
the bloodstain. It's back again. Only this time it's much bigger and much bloodier than it's ever been before.
Virginia, my baby. My baby.
Take her to her room, Miss Umney, and wake the other servants. The gardeners, too. We'll search the ground. Daylight's coming. I knew it. I knew this was to be the night. This is his revenge for all you've done to him this past week. Be quiet, Miss Umney. Virginia can't be far. We'll find her if we have to search every corner and tear apart every brick.
Oh, is this your hiding place, Mr. Ghost?
My name is Sir Simon de Canterville.
Yes, Sir Simon?
What are you doing here?
I started to the twins' room to beg them to leave you alone tonight. I feel so sorry for you, Sir Simon, but the twins are going back to Eton next week, and then if you behave yourself, no one will annoy you.
Behave myself? Then I'd have no reason for existing.
You know, you've been very wicked. Mrs. Umney told us.
Mrs. Umney. Ugh.
The first day we arrived here, that you had killed your wife.
That was purely a family matter. I have no concern of Mrs. Umney, or your family, or anyone else.
Don't you know it's very wrong to kill anyone?
Ethics. Ugh. My wife was very plain. She never had my ruffs properly starched. She knew nothing about cookery. She couldn't...
What's the matter? Are you angry at me for being here?
No, though I am a bit angry at myself for letting you find me. I was resting. But, after all, you are much nicer than the rest of your family. Your father and the boys, I mean. They're rude, disrespectful.
Oh.
What's the matter?
So, it was you who stole my box of paints, and all the different shades of red are used up. That explains that silly bloodstain on the library carpet.
Well, what was I to do? It's very difficult to get real blood nowadays. Didn't it frighten you?
No, of course not. Though I think it did my mother a little, and it certainly annoyed my father. Mrs. Umney was the only one.
Ah, yes. Miss Umney is a very satisfactory person.
I do hope you'll be nice from now on, Sir Simon.
No. Please don't go, Miss Virginia. You're a very great comfort to one so lonely and unhappy as I am.
But I'm getting sleepy.
Sleepy. I have not slept in 300 years.
Poor ghost. Have you no place where you can sleep?
There is a garden where the grass grows long and deep, where the nightingale sings all through the night, while a cold crystal moon looks down, and yew trees spread their giant arms over the sleepers.
You mean the Garden of Death?
Yes, death. It must be so beautiful to lie in the soft brown earth, with the grasses waving above one's head, and listen to silence. To have no yesterday and no tomorrow. Have you ever read the old prophecy on the stained glass library window?
Yes, I learned it by heart the first day we came. When a golden girl can win prayer from out the lips of sin, when the barren almond bears and a little child shall give away its tears, then shall the house be still and peace come to Canterville.
You can be that golden girl, Miss Virginia, and open for me the portals of death's house. For love is always with you, and love is stronger than death is.
I don't think I know what you mean.
If you will weep with me because I have no tears, and pray with me because I have no faith, then you, who have always been sweet and good and gentle, will move the angel of death to have mercy upon me.
But where would I have to do this, Sir Simon?
In darkness filled with fearful shapes, where wicked voices will whisper in your ear. But they will not harm you, for against the purity of a little child, the powers of hell cannot prevail. Are you afraid?
I am not afraid, and I will ask the angel to have mercy on you. Mother, Daddy, everybody, where are you? I'm back.
Virginia? My darling, thank God! Where have you been? We were just about to send out searching parties. Hiram! She's here, in the upper hall, safe and sound.
Oh, Mother, I'm so sorry you were worried. I didn't know it would take so long.
Take so long?
Virginia, where have you been, child? Come up, boys, she's here. Tell the servants to go back to bed. Oh, Miss Virginia, are you really safe?
My baby.
Virgie, where on earth have you been?
Here she is, Roger. Here she is. Hooray! Hooray!
Well, Virginia, where have you been?
I've been with the ghost, Daddy. He is dead after waiting 300 years. He has gone to sleep in peace. Would you like to see him?
Child, what are you talking about?
There's a panel in the wall near the window in the tapestry room. He's there in a little cell, just a skeleton tied to a huge iron ring.
Come on, twins. The tapestry room.
That would have been the remains, where they've been hidden all these years, of Sir Simon de Canterville.
Yes, Mrs. Umney. He had been very wicked, but he was really sorry for all that he had done. Before he could really die and go to sleep forever, he needed someone to pray for him. So he asked me to pray for him, and I did. And he gave me this box of beautiful jewels before he died.
Dad, come quickly. It's here. Just as Virginia said. The secret room and the skeleton and everything.
Oh, my child. What a night of terror and of heartache.
Never mind, madame. The ghost of Sir Simon will walk no more. See, it's light already, and quite clear. Why, fancy that.
What is it, Mrs. Umney?
That old withered almond tree in the court. I do believe it's blossomed. Yes, I can see the flowers quite plainly in the dawn.
Can you really, Mrs. Umney? Then you need never fear the Canterville ghost again, for he is now at rest.
You have been listening to The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde. Those in the cast were, as Virginia, Lydia, as Hiram Otis, Anna, as Mrs. Otis, Isabella, as Virginia's brother, Washington, Jack, as the twins, Lydia and Jack, and Mrs. Umney, Anna, as Lord Canterville, Jack, as the Canterville ghost himself, Anna.
This is the Man in Black, here to introduce Columbia's program, Suspense. A story by John Dickinson Carr, dealing with strange, very strange happenings aboard an ocean liner, and called Cabin B-13, is tonight's tale of suspense. If you've been with us before, you will know that suspense is compounded of mystery and suspicion and dangerous adventure. In this series are tales calculated to intrigue you, to stir your nerves, to offer you a precarious situation, and then withhold the solution until the last possible moment. And so, with Cabin B-13, we again hope to keep you in suspense. Come now, in happier peacetime days, to a great ocean liner on the night of her departure for Europe. There she is at West 22nd Street Pier, the 25,000-ton Mauravania of the White Planet Line. Smoke from her 3 funnels coils up lazily in the mild October air. You can see the decks, white and shiny like shoeboxes, and the string of lights along them, and the band standing by on A deck to play her out. You can hear the murmur of an excited crowd and the rattle of the steam winches as cargo is lowered into the hold. You can see the bustle of activity and the second officer standing at the head of the gangplank as 2 rather late passengers hurry through the customs shed towards that gangplank.
It's all right, Ricky. We're not too late.
No, Anne. I thought we'd be in time.
A honeymoon in Europe. 3 whole months with nothing to worry about.
That's right, dear. And you've been my wife for, let's say, practically 5 hours now.
I believe the correct phrase is, it was so sudden, Mr. Brewster.
So sudden that we have to travel on our own passports instead of a husband and wife one. I hope they don't think you are not an honest woman.
I'm gonna act like a complete wanton just to devil you. Oh, what about our tickets, Ricky? Do we give them to the officer standing at the top of the gangplank?
Why? No, honey, you keep your tickets. The cabin steward will come around and collect it after we are underway.
And the money, Ricky.
It's a lot of money, and $10,000 in cash. Maybe I'd better trade in at the purser's office for safekeeping.
Yes, maybe you had. Wait a minute, Ricky.
What is it, dear?
Wait. Do you mind if we stand here for a second before we go up on the gangplank?
Well, what's the matter? You are not ill, are you?
No, but getting over brain fever isn't any joke.
Oh, I know, dear.
You see, Ricky, I ought to be eager and excited, like all those people up there, but suddenly you get fancies. Queer, sick fancies. Like, suddenly, right now, all I can think of is the night and the wind and all that black water in the dark.
And that's exactly the kind of morbid fancy I'm trying to cure you of.
I know, Ricky. I'll be good, but I was just thinking of a story.
What story?
Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter. Which way do we go?
Up the gangplank, through that door there, and then down in the elevator to B deck, and no more horrors. Do you understand? Here we are, and B deck, and cabin number Good Lord, B13.
B13?
You are not superstitious, are you?
Why, no, dear. Not about things like that. Open the door.
Here we are. Lights on and...
Oh, Ricky, darling, it's a beautiful cabin.
Best I could get. Oh, they've got our luggage in. Anyway, and over there, madam, you will find a basket of fruit and some books from your obedient servant.
Oh, you are nice to me. And I'm feeling so much better, Ricky. I will be all right, darling.
Well, of course you will. But you won't find any detective novels among those books.
Please, Ricky.
Detective novels may be alright for presidents and college professors, but they are straight poison to you. You'll read love stories and like it.
You know, Ricky, I keep thinking and thinking about that story you mentioned.
What story, dear?
It's an old one. You probably know it, but it was new to me. A woman and her daughter arrive in Paris and go to a hotel.
Oh, you mean the old Paris exposition story?
Yes, that's it. The daughter goes out, and when she returns, her mother has disappeared, and even the hotel room isn't the same. The proprietor of the hotel swears the girl came there alone and that there never was a mother. The whole room is different when she goes back to look at it. The girl goes to the police, and they won't believe her, and she's nearly crazy. Of course, it turns out that the mother has caught the bubonic plague and died, and they're hushing it up so that the visitors won't keep away from the city and ruin the whole exposition, but...
And you've got to stop this kind of talk.
I know, but imagine being in a situation like that, with all those queer eyes staring at you, wondering if you've lost your reason, wondering if your brain had cracked and the whole world might dissolve, and... Listen.
Oh, sure, let's going ashore. Oh, sure, let's going ashore. Oh, sure, let's going ashore. Oh, sure, let's going
That's
ashore.
our last call, and we will be on their way any minute now.
You know, Ricky, I'd like to see the skyline go past, and the Statue of Liberty, and the rest of it.
Well, then, why not go up and say it? I've got to deposit this money in the purser's office on C deck.
But I don't like you to leave me.
Now look here, dear. You don't think I'm going to disappear, do you?
I suppose I don't, really. When I get these ideas, and I can't help it. Ricky, I wish you'd wallop me.
I'm not going to kick you, Anne. But you've got to stop being afraid. You certainly won't disappear in a crowded ship with any number of people all around you. As for me, I defy Houdini himself to make me vanish.
Don't talk like that.
I'm not going to vanish, and neither is this cabin, dear. Now run along. I will join you on deck as soon as I can.
All right, Ricky. I'll be good.
In with your game plan. In with your game plan.
Gangplank's in, sir.
Close the rails. Stand by.
Eager people, excited people, happy people, all crowding up to the rail to wave goodbye. Nothing to worry about, nothing on their minds except...
Except what?
Oh!
Except seasickness, madam.
Oh.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I hadn't meant to startle you, believe me.
Please don't mention it. How silly of me. It was my fault. I haven't been very well.
I noticed it, madam. If you'll forgive me, that is why I spoke to you. As you see by my uniform, I am the ship's doctor.
This is a British ship, isn't it? But you don't sound British.
No, I'm an Austrian, madam. Dr. Paul Heinrich, at your service. I'm not very popular in my own country today. The days of colored shirts and vacant minds.
I'm Mrs. Brewster, Doctor. Anne Brewster. When does the ship go?
In about a second, Mrs. Brewster, you'll hear the whistle. Then the band will strike up Old Lang Syne, and then...
We're moving, aren't we?
Yes. Don't you feel the vibrations of the engines?
So long, dear.
Yes, dear.
Oh,
That's
God.
what we made myself
Heaven
with
save
parrots.
us all. I imagine this is not your first crossing, madam.
Oh, I'm afraid it is, Dr. Heinrich. My husband's crossed many times, he tells me, but not on this ship.
Well, then I hope you're a good sailor.
Why, Dr. Heinrich?
Well, because we'll run into some very dirty weather. Once we're out at sea, October is a very bad month for traveling.
Well, if I do get seasick, Doctor, I'll rush straight to you, and I'll expect to be cured.
Let me tell you a secret, madam. There are two common ailments for which medical science has no cure. One is ordinary seasickness, and the other is the flu. Tomorrow morning, I shall be dealing with one of those.
And enjoying it.
Oh, no. Sympathizing with it. That's all I can do. How do you like the Mavania?
Oh, it's a magnificent ship from what I've seen of it. And you know, they've got a very nice cabin down on B deck. B13. What's the matter? Why are you looking at me like that?
I beg your pardon. Did you say B13?
Yes? Why not?
You're quite sure of that, madam?
Why, yes, of course I'm sure of it. I saw the number on the door. Why not?
Well, because
Go on, Dr. Heinrich.
there's no such cabin aboard this ship. I'm not joking, Mrs. Brewster. You see, some people are superstitious. Many ships like this one omit number 13 on each deck. You must have been mistaken.
What are you trying to tell me? Do you think I saw something that wasn't there?
No, Mrs. Brewster, not at all. I only...
Then come along with me. I'll show you. I'll prove to you that there is a number 13. Will you come along?
Yes, Mrs. Brewster. I think perhaps I had better escort you.
Stewardess! Stewardess!
Yes, miss. Yes, ma'am. Coming straight away.
Tell me, stewardess, this is B deck, isn't it?
B deck, ma'am. Why, yes, ma'am. No doubt about that.
But Dr. Heinrich and I have been all over this part of the ship, looking for cabin number 13, but we don't...
I've been trying to convince this lady stewardess that there is no such cabin as cabin number 13 on this ship.
Why, there sure to heaven isn't, ma'am, and never has been. I've served aboard the Marvania a matter of 8 years, and I ought to know.
But I tell you, I saw it. I was in there. It was a big cabin with a private bathroom attached. The walls were paneled in light oak, and the furniture was rosewood and yellow satin, and the portholes were like real windows.
Oh, that's not much good, ma'am.
No, I'm afraid not. Most of the cabins hereabouts look like that. May I ask you, what name was the cabin booked in?
Brewster, naturally. Mr. and Mrs. Richard E. Brewster.
Here, let's have a look at my list. No, there's no Brewster here, Mom.
I tell you, I was in there. They even delivered the luggage. I saw it.
Excuse me, Mom, but I had a look-see in all the cabins I'm in charge of, just to see if the passengers wanted anything, and I don't remember any luggage with a Brewster label on it.
Wait a minute. There may be a partial explanation in all of this.
Now you see, that's better, Mrs. Brewster. I was hoping you might find one.
Ricky, that's my husband. Ricky and I have only been married a very short time, and when my maid printed the baggage labels, she must have made them out in my maiden name. I never noticed it at the time.
Oh, what name might that be, Mum?
Thornton. Anne-Marie Thornton.
Oh my, miss, now why couldn't you have said that before? I remember it well. 2 suitcases in a little trunk. They're in B16 now.
Where is B16?
Right behind you, miss. You're standing practically in front of the door.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, yes, but what about my husband's luggage?
There's no gentleman's luggage in that cabin, miss. Your husband, or any other gentleman, if you know what I mean.
I won't stand for this. Where's Ricky? What have you done with my Ricky?
Please, Mrs. Brewster, there is only one easy way to settle this.
Settle it? How?
Just look down the corridor. You notice that man coming towards us? The man with 2 gold stripes around his sleeve?
Well?
That's Mr. Marshall, our second officer. Did you ever see him before?
Yes. Yes, of course I have. He was standing at the top of the gangplank when Rick and I got aboard.
Exactly, so he might be able to tell us something.
Oh.
Mr. Marshall? Mr. Marshall?
Yes, Doctor? What's up?
Would you mind coming here for a moment?
Why not at all, old boy? Always glad to oblige a chap who may have to cut me up at any moment, eh? What may I do for you?
Take a good look at this young lady and tell me, have you seen her before?
Seen her before? Well, my dear chap, if I had overlooked, the young lady will pardon me, I know, a passenger as charming as this lady is, I would be less of the gentleman than I fancy myself, eh?
You saw her coming aboard tonight?
Oh, yes, certainly.
And, of course you saw the gentleman who was with her.
The, gentleman who was with her?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Oh, but there was nobody with her, old boy.
You're quite certain of that, Mr. Marshall?
My dear doctor, she was the last of them to come aboard. I'll take my Bible oath there was no other passenger with her, or ahead of her, or behind her, if it comes to that.
You're lying. You're lying to me.
Please, Mrs. Brewster, lower your voice.
I know what it is. It's the old Paris trick, like in the story, but you won't get away with it, do you hear?
Now, look here, madam.
I'll go to the purser. I'll go to the captain. Dear Father in heaven, won't anybody believe me?
Later that night, in the captain's room just abaft the bridge, there is a conference of ship's officers. Outside, stung by spray, clinging to the bulkhead rail in the dark, a frightened girl waits till the door of the captain's room opens.
Will you bring the young lady in, Dr. Heinrich, and close the door?
Yes, sir. Here we are. This is Captain Wainwright. Now, just tell your story straightforwardly, and please don't excite yourself.
Well then, maybe we can get some decision into this matter. Will you sit down here beside my desk, Miss Thornton?
My name is Brewster, Captain. Mrs. Anne Brewster.
Whatever you say, Mrs. Brewster.
Thank you very much, Captain.
I might tell you, ma'am, I've got a lot on my mind already. My first officer comes aboard with the attack of the flu. I'm facing a very bad storm, and now this has to happen on top of it.
I'm terribly sorry I can't help with that, Captain. But I want to know what they've done with my Ricky.
Just a moment, please, while I get this straight. By this time, I understand you yourself have personally interviewed practically every single passenger aboard this ship. Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
But your alleged husband is not here. Is that true?
Yes, that's true, but
In the meantime, the purser has sent a squad of men to search the ship. They've searched every inch of it. You can take my word for that. There's nobody hidden. Your husband's not here. According to Mr. Marshall, who's standing over there.
I see him.
According to Mr. Marshall, he never was here.
Hang it all, Miss Thornton. You needn't glare at me like that. We couldn't see the chap if he wasn't there, now could we?
Be quiet, Mr. Marshall.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Now, I'm not unreasonable, Mrs. Brewster. I think you'll admit that, but what can I do? What can I say? Can you offer any proof even that this husband of yours ever existed?
Proof? Yes, of course I can.
Excuse me for interrupting, but would you mind, Captain, if I asked a question or two?
No, Doctor, go ahead. I tell you, I'm going daft myself.
If you were married, Mrs. Brewster, you must be carrying a joint husband and wife passport. Where is that?
Well, there wasn't time to get one. We each carried our own passport.
Oh, I see. But still, there must be someone back in America who can confirm what you say. If we got in touch by radio or telephone? Your parents, for instance.
I haven't got any parents. They're dead.
What about relatives, then? Or a guardian?
My guardian is a trust company. The administrators don't even know I'm married.
But somebody must have performed the ceremony of marriage. The parson, or the justice of peace?
Yes, of course. But, I can't remember the name of the town.
You don't remember the name of the town.
Hold tight to your chair, Mrs. Brewster. The ship is going to pitch again.
How's the glass looking, Mr. Marshall?
Barometer's rising, sir. This weather won't hold long. We shall be into fog before morning, though.
We're in the fog right now, if you ask me. This lady says she's...
I'm terribly sorry, but I'm trying to think of it. It was a little town in upstate New York where they can marry you at a moment's notice. Ricky kept the certificate. I was confused. I haven't been well.
No, you haven't.
You see, Ricky had been away and he came back and, well, I was in love with him and he sort of swept me off my feet and, what's the use?
Not much use, apparently.
If you'll take my advice, ma'am, you'll go below to your cabin and get some sleep. I'll send the doctor down to mix you a sedative.
You think I'm crazy, don't you?
I think you're a little overwrought, ma'am.
What I can't understand is why. Why? Why should you want to do this? It can't be the bubonic plague this time.
Bubonic plague, ma'am? Who said anything about the bubonic plague?
Never mind, but I'll show you. You're all against me, except maybe the doctor. But I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. I am going downstairs, and I don't want anybody to follow me. Good night. Good night, all of you.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
Look here, Mr. Marshall.
Huh?
Do you think it's quite safe to trust her out there alone?
Oh, I don't know, sir. She's mad as a hatter, if you ask me.
Do you think she might, do something foolish?
Oh, I think she might chuck herself overboard if we're not careful.
What's your opinion, Doctor?
I can give you my opinion, gentlemen, in very few words. That girl is as sane as you are.
What's that?
Sane?
Wait and hear what I have to say. I shared your own belief at first, but I've been talking to her all evening. I've heard the whole story, and there's not a psychopathic trait in her nature. She firmly believes in this husband.
Yes, Doctor, a lot of people firmly believe they're Napoleon, but they get tossed into the loony bins just the same.
This matter is not a joke, Mr. Marshall. I tell you, this man exists. Or did exist.
What do you mean, Doctor? Did exist?
Well, suppose he had been murdered. Perhaps he had been murdered and thrown overboard.
Murdered? Thrown overboard?
If you remember, Richard Brewster was carrying a very large sum of money in cash, his wife's wedding gift, practically all her inheritance. He meant to go to the purser's office, but he never got there. That money might have been a great temptation.
To whom?
To a stewardess, perhaps, or even to a ship's officer.
Just exactly what are you getting at?
Well, numbers on doors can be changed easily enough. Just print a small card and put it in the metal slot on the door.
I still want to know what you're driving at.
If you use your intelligence, gentlemen, I think you will understand how a man can be made to vanish into thin air. And why Mr. Marshall saw no other passenger. You still don't see it?
No, I do not.
Well, then listen, and I will explain exactly how.
"4 o'clock, the hour of suicides and bad dreams. The gale has subsided, the sea is calm. The SS Morvania creeps blindly at barely 8 knots through a thick and strangling fog. The whole ship is dark and sealed up in sleep. There's no sound in all that mournful dimness, except when the foghorn cries out a warning overhead. Even cabin B-16 is dark. Anne Brewster, still fully dressed, lies restlessly across one of the berths, her head almost touching the intercabin telephone.
What was? Oh, I thought I heard. Telephone. Yes? Hello?
It's me, and take it easy now.
Ricky! Ricky, where are you?
Quiet, keep your voice down.
Where are you, Ricky? What happened to you? Are you hurt?
No, I'm not hurt, but he nearly got me.
Who? Who nearly got you?
Listen, dear, I can explain over the phone, and I don't dare to go down there. Can you meet me up on deck?
Yes, of course. Where?
Do you know the boat deck?
Boat deck? Which one is that?
The top deck, where all the lifeboats are slung.
Oh, yes, I know it.
Well, go to the starboard side.
Yes, yes.
That's the right-hand side facing forward. Find the fourth lifeboat from the aft companionway.
Yes?
There's a thick fog and nobody will see it.
Ricky? What is it, Ricky? He's gone. He's gone.
Excuse me, miss, but I thought I heard somebody talking in here.
Stewardess, what are you doing up at this time of night?
If I might ask, miss, what are you doing up and dressed? Oh, you ought to get some sleep, miss. You really ought.
It might interest you to know, stewardess, that I've just been talking to my husband.
Now, look here, miss. Don't start that all over again. Please, don't start that all over again.
You all pretended to think I was mad, didn't you? And you nearly drove me mad. But Ricky's beaten the whole crowd of you, and I'm going out on deck to meet him now.
Out on deck, miss?
That's what I said. Where's my coat?
Don't go out there, miss. Not in the state of mind you're in. That fog is so thick you can hardly see your hands in front of your face.
Stand away from the door, please.
Suppose, miss, I don't want to let you go out there.
I don't think that would matter much. You've probably heard that mad people have 10 times ordinary strength, and I'm stronger than you anyway.
Miss, I'm begging you.
Stand away from the door! One, two, and the third.
Anne, is that you?
Yes! Ricky? Ricky, darling, where are you?
Here, duck your head under the lifeboat. Here, take my hand.
But isn't it horribly dangerous out there on the edge? There's no railing along the side of the ship.
Don't worry, Anne. I won't let you fall. Look out!
Ah!
Oh, if you went overboard here, we are well aft. Near the propellers, the suction would carry you into the propeller blades. And listen,
I can't hear anything except the foghorn.
yeah, but I can. There's somebody walking along the deck, and I can see a flashlight moving in the fog.
You're quite right, my friend. You can see a flashlight moving in the fog.
Dr. Heinrich, what are you doing here?
At the moment, young lady, I'm covering both of you with a revolver. Please don't move.
So you were in the conspiracy, Dr. Heinrich.
May I ask you what conspiracy?
The whole ship's conspiracy to say Richard Brewster didn't exist.
My dear young lady, you can set your mind at rest. There never was any ship's conspiracy against you. The people you spoke to were perfectly honest.
Including Mr. Marshall, I suppose?
Yes, including Mr. Marshall.
And what is this all about?
Stand back there!
I suppose he was telling the truth when he said nobody came up the gangplank before or after me?
I beg your pardon, that is not what he said. He said no passenger came up the gangplank with you at this time.
Well, what's the difference?
A great crime was arranged for tonight, young lady. No less a crime than murder.
Murder? Who's gonna be murdered?
You are.
What?
That, I repeat, is the scheme. But there is no conspiracy, and only one criminal.
Oh, and who is the criminal?
The criminal is that man standing beside you. Your so-called husband.
Ricky! Oh, you don't know what you're saying!
I think I do. Marshall, of course, did see someone walk up the gangplank, loitering behind you, but he never dreamt of associating that person with you in any way.
He saw a ship's officer returning from shore leave in civilian clothes.
A ship's officer?
Yes, that man you call your husband. His name isn't Richard Brewster. His real name is Blaney, and he's the first officer of the Marvania.
Are you trying to tell me that
The captain can identify him. He's actually British, though. He can fake an American accent very well. He has already got a wife in England, and he's planning to join her with the $10,000 he got from you.
I don't believe it! I don't! Ricky, why don't you say something?
Oh, he planned it very cleverly, I must admit. He never let you know he was a ship's officer, did he? He's been away for some time, naturally, so he persuaded you to marry him in a hurry.
Ricky, is this true?
Here's the money, you see. All he did was hang a dummy number on the cabin door, remove it later, put on his uniform, and walk away with his own luggage.
But Captain Wainwright told us that the first officer had come aboard tonight with
a bad attack of the flu, yes. Our friend couldn't be seen in public until after he'd disposed of you. The best thing was to convince everybody that you were insane, as he did. Then, when you went overboard tonight,
They would all believe it was suicide.
Exactly, but I began to suspect this Brewster because you quoted him as telling such an obvious lie. He said he had never traveled on the Marvania, yet he could direct you all over the ship, and even knew where the purser's office was. So I went to his cabin, found it empty, searched, and found your $10,000.
Why, you...
Look out, Dr. Heinrich!
put it down, you fool, put it down!
He's overboard! You shot him! You shot him.
Those shots, my dear, never touched him.
They never touched him.
No. The weight of the iron weight carried him backwards when he lifted it. It was the weight he was going to use to sink your body.
But they'll pick him up, won't they? They stopped the ship and... Ricky! The propellers! The ship's propellers!
Yes, they suck you under.
Oh, Doctor! Doctor, I can't stand this! I can't stand this!
It won't be easy, my dear, it won't be easy. I know, but believe me, this way is better.
And so closes cabin B13. Tonight's tale of suspense.